This is Andi for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined by former world title challenger Jason Welborn. Jason, it's been a while since we've had the time to catch up, but how are you?
I'm great, thanks. So just getting back onto it now, and first interview since LA, since probably I see you out there in LA. So it's been a good build up, like from LA and everything. And soaked in, still gutted of the loss, you know what I mean? But it's life. I gotta either call it a day, I was thinking, or get back out and do what champions do. And I think I've got a lot more to give, and I showed that out there with the unified world champion Hurd, massive light middleweight, and I think I've done good. I watched it back a couple of times, frustrated because I was in there with it, but at that level they see an opening and they take it with both hands, and that's what he is today, and that's where he is today. So, you know what I mean, I've had that experience now, and I think I'm at that level. I'm now world title in this country or whatever, or out there, the right fight, right camp. I'll put a good performance against anybody. So just hopefully now BCB Howard Johnson, we've sat down over Christmas, January. I've had a bit of a break, which my body needed it, because last year I was flat out, like British title defence, world title. So I think these few months of just doing what I got to do. I've been busy with my skip IR, setting my skips and my grab IR up. So everything's falling into place nicely now. So I'm ready to get that date, get back in, and I'm down here today speaking to Hurd, and we've had a few offers, but we've got to do what's best for us now, and we've got to progress and get back to where we belong.
You jumped straight in there and you discussed the Hurd fight at the beginning. You've had time to reflect on it. How would you assess your performance as a whole?
To say what we was up against, and obviously the camp went right. The camp went well. I was busy last year. The camp went well. The travelling, I've never been to America before. You can't turn that fight down. Took a chance at making light middle again. I made the weight comfortably. We was on about it early before we done it. Making the weight probably a bit too early. Thinking about the flight, the 11-hour flight, then settling in out there, the jet lag. But I felt good. I felt strong. There ain't no excuse in that. People can say, "Oh, your diet." We've done everything right. We've done everything right with the diet. I've been doing that long now. I've got my diet, my nutrition to a key. My wife rates, everything's on par with my diet. Everything's weighed, everything's my fluid intake, everything. The only thing was the rehydration. Whether the flights, I don't know. The rehydration, I didn't put as much as I normally did put back on. But I think I was like 11:9, 11:10. An hour before we fought, and like Hurd was 12:5. He put like 22 pound rehydration on. So what they do in America, that drip, or they go on a drip and they stop in the room all night to get all the fluids back into them. They've got all that round them, you know what I mean? They've got the team round them, they've got everything. That's where they am today. But I've done it properly, I've done it off my experience. I got my fluids back in me, rehydrated the best I could. And I felt good. And obviously the buzz, if I'd have been 10, 11 stone going in there, I was out to kill that night. You know what I mean? Whoever was in the ring with me, I went there to win. But obviously I didn't get the decision, but I went there to win. There's no excuse, and I look back on the performance and I was in it, you know what I mean? I was in it, I was pushing him back, and like to say, even though he's heavier than me, I was putting him where I want him, I was letting my shots go, and when I had him up there, I catched him, and I thought I've got him, and I hit him with everything, bang, 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 4, 5 shots, uppercuts, everything hitting him, and then he woke up, he thought, well, I could be taking these, and he pushed me back, tapped me low twice, which I got frustrated. I looked at the corner, looked at the ref, and then I just squared up, lost my head, and I swung that big hook, and he caught me clean in the solar plex. And that's when you look, if you watch it back, I looked at him and I laughed, and I thought, I knew what he'd done, tapped me low, and loaded it up. But you know what, I just thought, you know what, it's one of them. The count was fast, not being like that biased, but I was like 6, and bam, and I'm thinking, bloody hell. And then I got up on 8-9, and then they waved it off. But I was more frustrated with myself after. When I got back, I was thinking, I recovered about 7. I went 8, 9, then got up, and then he waved it up. You know what I mean? Which I thought, get up at 10, you're all right. But they're saying in the States, you've got to be up, on your feet, hands up, ready to fight. But it's all new, you know what I mean? And everything was new to me. You know what I mean? So a lot of people wouldn't adapt to that. Coming from what I've come from and winning Midlands area title, small show build, and I've done a lot. I've done a hell of a lot, and more than a lot of fighters have been to the Olympics and done that, because I've put my heart and soul into it, and I've had it hard. I had it easy. If I was with Matchroom probably ages ago and I was getting me the right fights like Sam Eggington and I've been looked after and I've had the right, bloody I'd have all the belts around my arms, like, you know what I mean? But I ain't bothered about that. I'll do it the hard way and I'll carry on till I have my gloves up. So whoever them putting in front of me now, I don't need easy fights. I've had the hard fights. I'm ready for hard fights. So whoever wants to get in, that offer's right. Get on to BCB now. And Jay Welborn's ready to fight June time. Whether it's Matchroom, Frank Warren, I ain't tied to no one. I'm ready to go to get on the blower and see a proper fight.
You mentioned the weight, Justin. We were speaking about it earlier, and the fact that because you were so close to the weight before you flew out, and I know you put the weight on the flight. You know, but I said to you, like, I spoke to people in and around boxing, and they were saying that because you were so close to it, naturally, when you was getting to those 3-4 days away from the fight, your body was just constantly beating itself down, and it was going to do more damage for you in the long run, in the sense that you could get done with a body. And I actually remember sitting next to someone who said you'd get done with a body shot because you were so close to the weight for so long. Is that maybe a regret that you got it so close to the weight that you had to be on fighting on?
It probably was, but obviously, like the team and we said we'll try and get before we fly out 8 days before, get your weight down, because we don't want to be struggling out there. Obviously, they said we had a gym. We don't have a gym out there, so I think we done a village sweat before we got picked up on the taxi before LA, and I think I was like 11.3. That was 8 days before, which I wouldn't be that round here. So I'd normally probably be £6, £7 getting off the day before, or you know what I mean. So that might have been, you know what I mean. I know my diet, I know my thing, but I ain't a proper nutritionist, and I don't know my body. But I've made weight before and this and that. It was just a good shot. I ain't gonna blame my diet, but that might not have helped, because obviously when I made the weight 11.3, like you were saying, I think by the time I got over there and I got off the plane, I took my scales with me. As soon as I got in, I weighed myself. I was 11.10. And all I was drinking on the plane was water. I was having nuts and fruit, and I was panicking about my weight, like thinking, oh dear. So the weight was a lot over, even out there. We don't know where to eat. Before eating the digs, you're making weight. When you're at home, everything's cooked for you, or I was had to go to restaurants and eat, so I had to be really strict. We found a salad bar and I was eating there, like, so. Other than that, but I made the weight right, and we had the gym facilities in the hotel, which I've done a bit of running, I've done a few shadows in the hotel. Everything was on par, so it could and it couldn't. We could sit here and think, was it, or wore it, or could I have done this, could I have done that? And the training, the sparring, we had bigger kids, you know what I mean, sparring the likes of Ricky Summers, heavy lumps in the ring. I'm sparring 11.5 stone, I'm 12, 10, and that at the time 13 stone. We had good sparring, so from the sparring, from the training, everything, there's no injuries. And that was good, because normally there's always a niggle, and it's frustrating, but it was good. And the experience, I'm taking that as an experience. I was a winner going over there, and that's what everyone was saying. So win, lose, whatever. I enjoyed it, I've learnt a lot. I got respect off Jared Hurd and the team, which he's texted me and told me, like, keep it up, champ, you'll get there. And you know what I mean, we might work with him again. He's done his own promotion team now. So Harold's LA man out in America, he liked my style. So we're still in talks. So that if I keep on it and I get a decent fight round here, and my name's still where it is, we will be back out there, I can see. And I'll be looking forward to it.
And my final question on the Hurd fight, what was the experience like walking out in that stadium on the undercard of the Purewal?
It was amazing. It was amazing. Like, you can look back in your career at the early days when I've got out at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you're dreaming about like the Rocky movies, and you know what I mean. All boxers got to have a mental issue. You know, like thinking, am we gonna do something? Gonna do that? And like, I never dreamed I'm going to be on that show time when you walk out with all the lights at show time. You know what I mean? It was amazing. And like, I'd love that. I'd love to get there again and do what we got to do. But the experience, it was brilliant. And to be on the undercard like that just put the cherry on the cake. Like, you know, that was amazing.
Did you feel any nerves walking out?
I did on a day. It was just like, I just couldn't wait to get in there because I think it was the build-up being out there somewhere where I'm meant to be. I mean, I'm out of the country and, you know what I mean, it's all new to me. So I just couldn't wait to fight it. Like, when I got there, it dragged them like 10 days, dragged. So I could not wait to fight. So I was buzzing, and I had the team round me. My wife was out there, my babby, the inspiration. Like, you see me out there in the hotel, and the babby was there, Team Welborn, top up, the support, all the friends come out. So, I mean, it was there together to win, and I'm gutted that I died, but we've still got the support. I've had, thanks to Dean Hitchcock, who sponsored me for 2 years from Downways Construction, and he kept me off and like winning the British. I couldn't have done it without the time off work, and it was all constantly boxing. Now I've got my business. I have got to switch the work side off when I get back into full camp, but I've got a partner who can help me run that, who can help me. I've got good friends who can help me work, and my drivers that can leave me to do what I've got to do, and they understand that. Dean Hitchcock's, I've got my work on for like Belford BT on the roads, backfilling and that, doing the utility work. So I've got 2 grabs now. So the drivers, I'm capable to go out, leave me to do my training, and I've got 110% on my boxing. If I don't, I'm a fool to myself, I'll lose, because I know what we've got to do to get to that level. And like we said earlier, I've got a lot more fights left in me, and it's a shame to go out now. I don't need the money for the boxing or that. I'm busy enough with my work. I'm happy. My family, my wife, we're happy, we're comfortable. And it's a risk when you get in that ring. So we got to do what's best for me now. And there's a lot of names. It just needs Matchroom to like give me the dates or get the fights and give some black country fights, some interesting fights. And I'm the man to bring the goods to the table. And I'm ready for that now. So all I can do now is get back into training. And these have got to do the work now. That's what I'm paying BCB, my manager, my training. I'm employing them to do what they've got to do. And they've got to get on to it and deliver the goods. Otherwise, I've just got to expand my business more, make more money, you know what I mean, and not get punched. But I'm ready to go. So we'll be back on it soon, hopefully you'll see me soon.
So talk to about what you have got lined up and who you've been in talks with.
Well, you got these so-called prospects, and they've under Frank Warren, and they want to catch you. We was offered that JJ McCarthy, I think Liverpool here, you know what I'm about. Offered the WBC, I went, yeah, sound. I've sparred him. It's a fight, be a good fight. He's a prospect, good kid. But I've had these prospects before with no losses, Marcus Morris and WBC. And the WBC gives you a world rank. I was thinking, yeah, perfect, get that. We've heard he's been stripped from the WBC because he defended it. And I think the Warrington Bill was the 15th of June. And that was perfect. I got back to training 2 weeks ago, just ticking over. But that date ain't in picture now. I think they offered another date for a Commonwealth. Frank Warren Elwood's in talks with him now. But we've just got to sit down and discuss. But that's a fight what I'd have jumped at. It's a nice fallback fight to get me back up there. And it'd been a good fight because he's a come-forward fighter. He ain't really fought no one on his record like me. But I've still got to be on the ball with him, and I've got to be training hard. But other than that, everyone's in talk of a few names, like, but I'm going to keep throwing names out, but it's obviously the financial side and everything that's got to be discussed, the business side from our half. But I'd like to be out June time, and I think that's, obviously I need a camp. I'm going to rush 6 weeks. If they like silly promoters, we'll try and get, 6 weeks. Listen, I don't need them 6 weeks notices. You know what I mean? Send someone else in for a few grand. When we come to win, and they know that. So they're going to get me short week notice and this and that now, because they can have me out. They can clean my boots because they won't get in that ring. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I've got someone looking after me up there, and she shined last year, and she'll be shining this year if they pull the money out of the pocket in the right fights and get me. All the kids, there's a lot of fun. We said earlier, locally, Eggington, but you said, that'd be a good fight. That would be a good fight for the fans, but would he give me the offer now? He's just come off 2 losses. You know what I mean? I'll take that fight tomorrow. If they found me, Blackburn, I like Sam Eggington, but business is business, you know what I mean? That fight come across, he'd have to be for a title, be local, and happy days, that fight can happen. But really, I've just come off a world title fight. He just come off Liam Smith, It ain't my place to say what happened. I ain't gonna disrespect, but obviously he's got to look at, is he going to stop at light middle? But I think he's a threat at welter, but light middle and big kids. I'm as big as Liam Smith. You know, I'll go back up to like 13.5 stone, 13.10, and I'll make 11 stone. So he's got to look at that. So that's up to his side. But we just got to look tunnel vision what we want to do, and we'll go from there. Like, but I've got a few eyes what I want to do, and not being for nothing, I've never ducked no one, so I ain't gonna duck no one. My last couple of fights, and I have got some good fights left in me. So get the titles, get the fights, get to BC Hurd Johnson, and we'll deliver the goods.
We did mention the Eggington fight earlier, and I think it would be a great fight for the fans as well, from perspective of two guys who do like to fight and will stand and trade. I've heard those rumours of a possible Birmingham card at the end of June, with obviously Kalya 5 possibly headlining. Is that the fight? How would that one work out for you? Is that a fight which you would genuinely like to have if it was offered to you?
That would be a fight in Birmingham, obviously, but would they want the fight? I mean, is Sam ready to like jump straight into another hard fight? You know what I mean? But obviously the phone call's there, but it's got to make sense. He needs me more than I need him at the minute. So, but he's got a promoter. So his promoter calls the shots. Sam, you fight. Sam will fight. Sam's a businessman, like you said. You name the money, Sam will fight you. But it's all right fighting, but he's got to think of his health. You know what I mean? But we'll do what we've got to do. We're fighters. I mean, let them phone me and discuss, and we'll sit down and me and Howard will discuss if it's beneficial. But it's got to be beneficial. I mean,
over this past weekend, Sam obviously fought Liam Smith up in Liverpool. What did you make of that bout?
I watched it, and like you say, Liam Smith, that's another fight I'd like with a camp, because I had 2 weeks' notice for Liam Smith back in the day when I was working. So I had 2 weeks' notice, I broke my thumb, and I still fought. And I was doing all right up until we got a bit headed. Our heads was going in, he come out, hit me with the horriblest slow blow ever. Horrible, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we done it, and it was bad, but it wore the body shot what done me. I got up, gripped my teeth, got up, and then hit me with a body shot. So Eddie Earns, get that rematch back on with a proper camp. I mean, he said he wanted an easier fight. He's picked Sam Eggington. Pick another easy fight, but get me as a camp, and then we'll see what happens. Like, you know what I mean? So that's an interesting fight for me. See if I can put the cards. Obviously, he's had the world title. He's had the hard fights, and he's a good fighter. He's a really good fighter. He picks his shots nicely, and he looked good against Sam Eggington. But I'd love that fight, and like you say, before he gets his other world title fights, that would be a nice fight. Me and him local, and I'd like that. So Eddie Earns, Liam Smith, if they see this, have a sit down and let's have another go. Like, you know what I mean? Let's have another go at it. And like, no point me crying away at 2 weeks' notice. He was in a better position than me, and he's probably in a better position than me now with a good promoter. You know what I mean? But that'd be nice. I'd look forward to that one. I'd enjoy that camp as well. So if I am watching this, have a think. If he's got better offers, obviously it's like me with Sam Eggington. If I can get a better offer, why fight that? And Liam Smith's probably thinking, I don't need Jason, I've bet him. But it's a people know how I've changed my career in the last 2 years. From when I fought Liam Smith and Frankie Gavin, from when I bet Marcus Morrison, bet Langford at middle, defended it and fought forward. I'm a different fighter. So you look at my welterweight record, the light middle. I've played at boxing and I've won a lot of my fights when I've worked. So when I put my heart and soul into it, people are thinking, oh, well, when I bet Marcus Morrison, they was probably thinking, hit him to the body, Liam Smith got it. Liam Smith got me with a low blow, but when I got in that ring, I shocked him. When he's going back to the corner, he don't want to fight. Gallagher had to say, this is professional boxing. I mean, we're in there to fight. You fight to the death. You know what I mean? You see that blood, you fight to the death. Where if I'm in the ring or I'm out there, I'll fight to the death. And that's at Liam Smith. I'd love that opportunity again. But it's if it's worth his while. He calls the shots, promoter, I ain't in that position, so fair play to him. But big names are one. But if I do, Birmingham, June, Matchroom, Eggington, I'll take that fight tomorrow. But we want titles, and I want to progress me, not like progress Sam. He's had these shots, he's gathered his titles, and he's got to sit down and think about his career. Like I've got to sit and think about mine, but if it makes sense, as long as the date's right, money's right, titles I'm on the line, and I can progress off that fight, I'll take it.
Another fight that was on that undercard at light middleweight was Scott Fitzgerald and Anthony Fowler. Your thoughts on that one? Maybe any of those guys be of interest to you?
I texted Harold as soon as that fight was on, and I was like, I'd both on them. You know what I mean? But them are the fights what I'm up against now. We went into the board and they promised me the British title, but they didn't give it me. Obviously, that Anthony Fowler, they gave it him to fight Cheeseman. His luck went down. That's another prospect. Good records, good looked after, good promoters, good build, been Olympic. From the amateur and pro, it's a different level. And he found that out when he got hard in there, and he got it with a left hook and he was on the floor. So that's the difference. And he's had to learn the hard way. He's got to get back now, rebuild. But they'll rebuild him. I mean, he'll be back up there fighting for titles. But if I'd have been like that, I've got to start again, small bills. That's the frustrating part about boxing. But what I said, both of them, there's fights there for me. But he's going to fight Cheeseman now for the British. So, you know what, I ain't thinking about it now. It's frustrating because obviously I was expecting at least to fall back to a British title. You know what I mean? Ted Cheeseman would have been a perfect fight for me. He's only gone up to European level and he got schooled against that Australia, what I said of it like. So that's a perfect fight for me. But see the winner of the British and see what else comes up. You know what I mean? I've done the British. If I can bypass the British and fight the likes of Liam Williams, who am world level, looking for world titles, them are the fights I want to be up against to give me something to get in this gym, put everything on hold again, and give it 110%. But the names will do that for me. So we just got to leave it to, and we can sit here all day and I'll fight anyone, you know what I mean? As long as I'm fit and I got the camp, I'll fight anyone now and the money's right and it's going to benefit me, like I keep saying. But I'm ready and waiting, and I hope I'm out before the summer.
What weight do you see your career going out at? Do you see yourself as a middleweight or do you see yourself as a light middleweight?
Light middle and middle. You know what I mean? If the right fight comes up at middle, I think I'm more, you know, how I felt at middle, I'm strong as a bull, you know what I mean? And that's being in this country. But like light middle, doing the weight right, which I did, I still felt strong. So it's one of them. And I don't want to judge or mess around with the weights, but I think light middle is perfect for me. I think it's perfect because that makes me sacrifice more on my food. Even at middle, I was eating the right foods, but I was probably making the weight a little bit too easy. But my main thing is my strength, and I take that into the ring, and that's what I did against the opponents last year and the year before. But light middle with the right camp and everything, I'm a threat to the light middles, and I'm a big light middle. You know what I mean? Because I fill out straight away. So we'll see what's offered. But I've said to Harold, middle, light middle, we're ready for whatever springs to the table.
What have you made of this past couple of years? If you could try and sum it up and just try and reflect on it, you know, since you beat Marcus Morrison, I don't think anybody would have expected, even yourself, to have gone on to fight for British title or win it, defend it, and then fight for a world title over on the Wilder Fury undercard. You know, was that beyond your wildest dreams when you fought Marcus Morrison back in 2017? Was it?
Well, we had the Marcus Morrison. Obviously, I was with BCB, and I lost my mum. I had to bring that up because obviously it's the truth. I don't like to keep mentioning, but we lost Mum. I love my boxing. Mum wanted me to carry on my boxing. She knew when she was alive I had it hard, and like she used to see me working and boxing. I got upset. I thought, I can't do this. I want to do my boxing, but no sponsors. It's hard to like juggle ends meet and do everything, but I've done it. And Dean Hitchcock's going back to Dean. I was working for Dane Wales Construction. He gave me the time off. And I left Errol Johnson for a bit and I went to MTK, Birmingham, signed under Matthew Macklin. And I was out training, camp, Marbella, training and everything. And the Marcus Morrison fight come up at middle and I thought, sound. He was a prospect, you know what I mean? He really had the names, you know what I mean? I fought no one. And it was a chance to give her a title. So Bosho snatched it with both hands and I delivered the goods. And that's what I put it down. And obviously I had the time off work with Dane Ways. He gave me 8 weeks off work. So that was my first camp. 8 weeks notice. And like, you see the performance, what I delivered against Marcus Morrison. And I think he was surprised, you know what I mean? And everything was in my mind, obviously. This is how these feel, the likes when I fought Gavin, Liam Smith. They've had camps. So I was like, oh, this is easy. You know what I mean? This is easy because I've always done it the hard way. But it's just flew from there, like, and going back to Mum, and like when I won the WBC, it was Mother's Day the day after. I took the belt down, and then it's in my head, and I thought, I ain't stopping. And I kept on, got the British, bang, defended it. And like, it's all come together. And everything what I touched last year turned to gold. You know what I mean? Everything. And it's going to keep turning to gold. Because wherever I am now, I'm adapting to whatever I put my mind to, I produce, I gain. That's in me. I'm like hungry, whatever I do. It's like with my skips now. I either do it or I don't do it at all. And that's with boxing. That's how I do it. Whatever I do it good. And I ain't the best boxer. You know what I mean? But what I've learned in my career, I'm a good style, come forward fighter. But you always learn. You never stop learning. So, and that's what. Every fight I do get better, and every fight I've probably learned more in that Jared Hurd fight and the experience and everything in camp than I have all my career. And like last year with Langford and stepping up weights, and I've had the bigger kids. So Langford worked well to Jared Hurd, big kid, heavy, get him round. So they like my style out there. So who knows, we might get another big fight out there. But we just got to see, and not being for nothing, I need a fight to get back in the mix. So it'd be nice to get a good name and get another good win. But like you say, I'm patient, but when the time's ready and the fight's ready, I'll be putting everything into it like I'm doing now with other stuff and everything.
Can your career get any better than the past year?
I think it can. I've got a lot more fights in it, but it can only get better if the fights are put in front of me. If I went and not disrespect, if I went and gone and fight on a small hall bill or that, I wouldn't met the weight. You know what I mean? You just think, we've been out, you was in LA, you see the atmosphere, you see the build-up. Going out there, it's going to take a lot for me to get back into the gym. Because of it, the highest you can probably hit, and like you say, likes of Kel, but they've been there. For them to go and box for a British title, I mean, I've done the British, I've won it. It'd been nice to win it right out. But I've won it, I've defended it. Not many people defend them. You know what I mean? People win Midlands title this day and age and they don't defend them. They vacate, them scared, them ducking down. We've done what we've got to do. We don't avoid no one. I let Mark Efron fight for it, which that was a fight I was ready for. Another prospect who I fought no one. And what happened? Liam Williams, he's had some hard fights against Liam Smith, 2 great wars. Too experienced, too fit, too clever, too strong. What did he do? Someone who walks forward, tries to bang you out, a body shot and that. He'd have tried to walk through me, but he might have come unstuck. Because I've been in them trenches and I'd have hit him just as hard as Liam Williams was hitting him. So that was a fight what I was after and I was with. But when this fight comes up, Jared Hurd, I took it with both hands, you know what I mean? So, like we say, going from there to wherever we're going to go, it's got to be worth the while.
Also, just want to get your thoughts on Tommy Langford, your past opponent. He's fighting Lerone Richards for the Commonwealth Super Middleweight title. Lerone Richards stepping up to Super Middleweight. Lerone's 11-0. What do you make of Tommy's decision to step up and that fight?
To answer that, middle, it might have been killing him, but you look at the likes of Jared Hurd, they met light middle. If you're doing it right and you're training hard, you met the weight. But I just don't think he's strong enough to be a middleweight. But that's up to him and his team to discuss. Has he got a couple more fights? Has he got the hunger? He's boxed at a high level. Highish level. He's come back down. He's lost the British. He had another chance. Lucky enough to have another go at it. He's lost again. I seen him fight. Well, I watched a couple of rounds on the BCB thing, and he fought a super middle. I don't know who he fought, but he was getting caught a lot. And that's the thing. He could be getting caught at super middle because they do it harder. But for some super middles, man, if they're hitting you, I'm a light middle, and when I catched him, he went. So if a middleweight hits him, it's going to be another level. But that ain't my place to say. But I wish him all the best. I wish him all the best in his career, and I hope he gets some good fights ahead of him. And I still think he's got a lot in his tank. Yeah, he's had probably three hard fights in his career, and but other than that, he ain't really been knocked about or nothing. You know what I mean? So all the best in that super middle, and I hope he does come back to BCB and bring some titles back to like Errol Johnson, because Errol works hard. He's got the fighters now, and it's expanding BCB, and it was nice for us to go out there together and like get the world title, because the effort what I put in and Errol over the years, it paid off. Like we don't get what we wanted, but hopefully we've opened some eyes and we've gained a lot of respect and everything, and we're ready to go again now, so waiting game.
And finally, to give you a little plug, talking about Welborn Skip Hire.
Welborn Skip Hire, independent trading co. Now it's I set it up steady. I only had a couple of skips. My dad left me a few skips like in a unit, and I've had them sprayed up and that. I got a little pick up, and my mate was dropping them out for me, but that was November, and then obviously when we heard of the Jared Hurd fight, it went a bit. I just advertised and I wore, but then Christmas it went mad, and then January got the minis, the middies, the builders skips. So we're busy on the skips. I'm looking for like factory clearances, like factories where I've got factory enclosed bins. But obviously going back to my sponsor again, Dean Hitchcock's, he got the grab hire, which I passed my test last year while I was in camp to do my HGV. And I've got a wagon on for Dean now, so obviously even though they're working there, I've got a wagon on there with a driver, and obviously it's doing all the utility work around the Midlands and all around Wolverhampton, Birmingham, so that's keeping me a bit ticking over. But then I've got my skips as well, so I'm looking, at the end of the day I'm in it to win it, and whatever I do, like I said, but my boxing ain't here forever, so obviously I've had to invest, and it's been a long time. I worked for like 3 or 4 years like properly, so investing and being busy. My wife as well, she's in charge of the skips, like, so she's taking orders and that to take the stress off me. But it's going well, and business is hard whatever you do, whether it's boxing, dropping skips, or there's a lot to it, but I'm in it to win it, like I say, and I'm doing everything properly on that side. There's a lot of business side what has to be sorted, all your operators, licences and that, but we're on par, and like now we've got the 2 grab wagons, got over 100 bins, builders, middies and minis, enclosed bins, so I'm looking to, that's going to keep going. But at the minute where I am, I'm in limbo, my boxing, my work, and I don't want it to be like that, because I know I've got a lot more to give in the sport. So if the fights do come, contact me now, because nobody wants to see me not fight again. So if the people watching these interviews get on, people see, and I mean, it's a shame to throw it away now, love. Good couple of years now, but it did get to a stage a couple of weeks ago thinking, bloody, I'm back in the gym, and like I've got to be earning. You mean I've got to earn? Everybody's got to earn. I mean, so if I can box and my skips can be easily run and my grab, happy days, and I can give a few more good fights and get out of the sport healthy, and we're not, best not say rich, but healthy, and some good fights for me to remember for the rest of my life, and I'm willing to put all my heart and soul into the sport now, get the fights, get some names, and just enjoy. You don't want to be a job, because you look at the job, you don't want to do it, but I just want to get back in the gym, enjoy it, and get back onto my camp, my velocity training and everything like that, and I'll be ready, man.
Well, Jason Welborn, I think that's a perfect way to end this interview. Thank you for your time, and thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Great, pleasure. It's a pleasure.